Now.
Oh,
Okay,
professional.
we're here. Hi, friends. Thank you so much for hanging in there. As you know, technology is not my bag. I'm using a third party thing that causes problems. But anyway, we're here. We're excited to talk to you today with my friend. We're going to talk to my friend, Monique White, who has lived in the
Oh,
Netherlands for
professional. We're
20
here.
years.
Hi,
Oh,
friends.
that's
Yes,
I forgot to warn you about
21.
that.
21.
Yes,
Yes.
20 years. Monique is from LA. She's raising two daughters in the Netherlands. We have a lot to talk about, including her travels extensively around the world, including or especially Europe, and the fact that Monique will soon have run 50 races in 50 countries, which is astronomical. Hi, Charisse.
Yeah.
So say hi to us in the chat. Monique's first live stream. So say hi to her.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
And if you're watching the replay, say hi in the comments. Okay. Hi, Monique.
Hi.
Thank you so much for hanging in there and for being with us today. Let us
Thank
know.
you.
Let us know if you would how you got to the Netherlands. How did that happen?
Um, I came to the Netherlands, like I said, 21 years ago with my ex-husband. He got a job here, and we came. So, and yeah, and here we are. It was supposed to be 2 to 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, 20 plus years later, still here.
And you're in The Hague, which I never knew was an actual town. I thought it was like a building.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a town. It's the seat of government. So it's about 40 miles southwest of Amsterdam. So
Okay.
yes.
When I went to Amsterdam, guys, last Easter, Monique is the one who took me around, showed me all around, and took some awesome pictures of me. Um, we took awesome pictures in the tulip fields
In
and
the
the flower
tulip
fields.
fields, yeah.
Yeah. So what? Okay. So what people want to know about living in Europe is like, what's it like being a black woman living in Europe? I know that the question always comes up, and it's
Hmm.
really like it's it projects U.S. stuff onto other countries, and other countries have their own issues, but they don't have the same issues as being in the U.S.
Uh, well, there is racism here. I mean, I don't know if people are aware of Zwarte Piet or Black Pete, the holiday character, kind of slave elf who comes with the Santa Claus here in the Netherlands. Um, but that's been a big issue in terms of its races. There's a big movement that's been going on with that for years, and the native people, the Dutch people, are really hesitant to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and I mean, just everywhere you're going to get some xenophobia, some racism. Although I have to say I haven't really experienced any myself, but I do know people who have.
Yeah. Zwart Pete is basically he's a man in blackface.
In blackface, yes, and slave clothes and big red lips and fro, and they want to try to spin it the last few years as like, oh no, it's soot from the chimney. And it's like, no, how do you explain all the
The
rest
hair,
of it?
right?
Exactly, because we're not stupid.
Yeah. So they're trying to hang on. That's their Robert E. Lee statue, right? That's the thing that they want to hang on
Yes,
because they do have
yes.
their own experience with. I don't. Is colonizing the right word? The Dutch are not innocent parties in.
Oh no, 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 no. The Dutch built their wealth came from building slave ships. They built slave ships and sold them to people. And the first slaves from Ghana to Jamestown in Virginia, the Dutch took them there. So
Mm,
yeah, the Dutch are big
yeah, yeah,
in
and
that.
and then South Africa's whole apartheid system was the Dutch people who lived in South Africa who
Yeah.
we know what they
You are-
did. Yeah.
Yes.
So when we talk about living in another country, we talk about sometimes how you get to throw off the microaggressions and the outward racism that you know Black Americans feel. But it doesn't mean that you're going to Nirvana. You're not going to some place
But
where,
yeah, yeah. You're gonna always have to deal with that. Well, as long as you aren't in a Black African country, I said you're gonna always have to deal with that. So
uh,
yeah.
what But but how, but compare, if you can, like, I'm stumbling. Compare what it's like in the U.S., what race relations are like in the U.S. compared to today's race relations in the Netherlands. Is it possible to say that things are easier for you? I don't know how to say
Okay.
it.
I think I can help you. When I first moved here, I met a Black American woman, and one of the first things she told me was like, when that there is racism. It's like, but once they hear that you're American, they're going to treat you totally different. So my experience is different than maybe an African person when dealing with the Dutch people,
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
so there's
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
I've
that blue passport privilege in a sense. So
Yeah, I've seen that. Your other places, once you get read as an American, whether it's the look
yes,
or the voice or you have dollars or whatever, then
yeah,
you become a dollar sign
yes,
as opposed to a black person.
yes.
In some way. And you stayed,
Oh,
like you stayed for 20 years and you've chosen
and
to raise your girls there.
yeah, and it's a really the quality of life is good. It's a good place to raise the kids. My biggest complaint has always been and will always be the weather. People are like, how do you like it? It's like, don't ask me that question November to March because, I don't when it's gray and rainy and cold. Um, but, like I said, quality of life is good. They were educated at the international school here and, you know, they've had a really good experience in that respect. So I don't have any complaints.
Is the quality of life comparable? So I did some research. Numbeo.com is my favorite place to look up, like, how expensive is this place.
Okay.
Numbeo.com tells me that a lot of the Netherlands compares financially to Atlanta, right? In terms of food costs, housing costs, right? So we're talking about Atlanta. Does that sound right to you?
You know what? I honestly can't say.
Okay.
But I've been here like my whole adult life. So, and
Right.
I can't
Yes.
really compare it to anything.
Okay. So we're talking cheaper than LA, but not cheap like Thailand or Mexico, right? So,
Right.
so
Right.
but what is
And
your
not cheap like Portugal.
not Portugal?
Portugal is pretty inexpensive still.
Yes.
Not as expensive as London.
Right.
We're probably comparable to Brussels and Paris.
So how do you think, for the money, how do you think it compares to what your life would be like in LA, for the same money, if that makes sense? Because you're from LA, or just
I'm from
lived.
LA, but my
I know
family's
it's
in
been a
LA.
long time. I know
Left
when
when
it.
I was when I went to college and haven't gone back.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if that's a fair question because
Okay.
it has to do with job and everything,
Hmm.
So
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah,
I just like
and
to
so
compare.
that's I've always had a hesitancy answering questions about expat life
Yes.
because it wasn't for me like I'm gonna spin the globe, pick a place because I need to get out of America. Happenstance kind of thing. He got a job here, we came, you know, um, and everything happened easily. His job took care of our visa and things like that. So there was no hassle. There's never been any hassle in that respect.
Uh-huh.
So, for that reason, I'm always hesitant to talk about expat life. I
Okay.
didn't care about, is it cheaper than Atlanta or this that, and the other because that wasn't the focus. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You went where the job
Okay.
said go. Yes. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you did stay, right? Because you had a
Um,
choice to leave, right?
no, not
No.
really.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
I mean, everybody's got a choice. When you decided, well, so you're divorced, and
Yes, but
you could have said, "I'm taking my girls back to America."
there are two parents. Can't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know nothing about that.
Girl, international law named after the city that I live in. The Hague Convention is like, no, that it doesn't work like that. But okay.
Working together is not my strong suit. I don't know nothing about that. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. You're going to hear my dad. He's cutting the grass every time I want to go live. Here he's come out here. He's got to do yard work. So forgive us. Okay. So forgive us. Okay. Hi, guys. Hi, Leslie, Charisse, Lolita, Saren. Hey, friends. If you're here, say hi.
Hello. Hi.
Leslie wants to know, how do you think living there affects your well-being as a Black woman? And you also touched on seasonal affective disorder too.
Yes.
So not just in terms of like race stuff, but in terms of just being in the Netherlands. How do you think your well-being is impacted? Do you feel like,
Yeah, that's hard. I make it a point to December, Christmas vacation. I try to get someplace where there's some sun, and getting through the winters can be really hard. So I try to manage that. But I miss, although it's getting better in terms of Black people coming here, I miss Black people. I miss to be able to congregate with Black people.
Yeah.
And hang out and do that. I've got some friends, I know some people here and there, but still it's not the same as, it's not a big network. It's not a big gathering.
Yeah.
Always trouble finding hairstylists, always, although I have one now, but there are periods where it's like I have somebody and then she'll disappear for whatever reason, and then it's like, oh no, so what do I do now? Mm-hmm. So there's always that, but it's getting better. 20 years later.
Yeah, so you said
and the local drugstore now has a section with Black hair products. I was like, oh, look at that.
Uh-huh. So how big is the Black community, like the Black community in the Netherlands? Because there's a woman who runs a Black, or I don't know if it's a woman, someone runs a Black Amsterdam tour.
Oh yeah, she's American Surinamese. So Suriname is a country in South America that was a former Dutch colony. So yeah, there's a group. We've got a group there's a Facebook group, and we get together sometimes, Black women in Amsterdam. So it's not as big as places like Paris, maybe places like London, but it's a good size.
Okay.
It's a good size. And also besides Suriname, there are Black people from Curacao, which is also a Dutch island, and a lot of them are here. So there's a population. So you see people. And then there's also, The Hague is very international. You have International Court of Justice and a lot of other international organizations. So you will have people from different African countries. Embassies are here.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. It's not like I don't ever see Black people.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I know Monique because I went to Bangkok during that year that I quit my job to travel. I went to Bangkok and there was a conference, like a travel conference. So I go to the conference. I didn't know anyone there. This was before I knew to like find a Facebook group of people and, introduce yourself before you get somewhere, which is a great thing to do for travelers. This is before I knew how to do that. So I just go to the conference. I have my little plate of food because they have like food around. I have my little hors d'oeuvre plate and I'm standing there eating. And Monique walks. It was just a bunch of white people, white travel bloggers, mostly like 20-something-year-olds. Monique walks by and I said, hi, come stand with me. It was like a standing table. And she was like, Okay, give me a second. She did not come and stand with me. She came, she got me, and she took me to her group of friends, and she introduced me to everybody and talked. I met some of them I still talk to today. Reese from Reese on the Road.
Nicole.
Thank you. That's who I was trying to think of. Nicole Brewer. Yeah. So yeah, Monique pulled me in and showed me how you go to a place, how you meet Black women. You instead of like waving them down, you talk, and then she pulled me into her circle, pulled me into her group. Yeah, and that was 2015. That was almost 10 years ago. Yeah.
And I remember meeting you just so impressed with like, oh yeah, I moved and I'm about to, travel around the world. I was like, okay, you go.
Yeah. Well, I knew Black women were doing it. But everybody was, I always say secretive, but like private, I guess is the better word. Everybody's pretty private about what they're doing until you ask.
Yeah.
And when you ask, everybody's like, here's what I'm doing, here's how I'm doing it. Opens up, it opens up a whole new world. It opens up, a whole new world. So that's why I like talking to Black women on the channel, because they're out there. We're out here doing it. We just are a little more private about stuff sometimes. Okay, so everybody's saying hi. Hi guys, 11:59. You can tell us, is your first name a secret? Hi Janice. Hi Kay. Hey, Tanaj and Tino, our house sitting mom and dad. Hi.
Oh, nice.
And Sharice. Okay, so Sharice wants to know, what do you love about your life in the Netherlands?
I always say the best thing about the Netherlands is being able to leave. Is how convenient it is and easy it is to get everywhere. That's always been my favorite thing. And, also the country is nice, especially in the summer, this time of the year. It's daylight until 10:30. And when the weather's good, because sometimes, the weather is not always great. Actually, last night we had rainstorms and it's supposed to rain the next couple of days. But when the weather's beautiful and long days and go to the beach, and it's really, really kind of hard to beat that. So
yeah, the Netherlands themselves it's just beautiful. I'm trying to put y'all know I'm trying to mess with this new text, so I'm trying to put a picture. I've got a picture of you from Keukenhof Gardens.
Oh, okay.
On the screen. I hope y'all can see it. Yeah. So yeah, it's a beautiful place, and the people. Dutch people that I've met when I'm traveling are always the same. Like they're always pretty friendly and bossy. Is that fair?
That is a good description. Friendly, and I wouldn't even say bossy as much as like just kind of nosy, just kind of like it's like, go away.
Yeah.
Give me some boundaries. Let's establish some of those.
But I can imagine that makes it a nice place to be, especially when you don't have your own friend. You don't have your own family right there. Has it been pretty easy to make friends?
I immediately got into like the American groups. There's something here called the American Women's Club, and I immediately got with them, and when kids are born and kids go to school, that has been my community for the last 14 years. And then it's an international school, so very international, people from everywhere. So yeah, it's easy to meet people that way, but native Dutch people can be harder to meet and become friends with.
Okay. The ones that you meet, I guess, when you're traveling are the more extroverted.
Exactly.
They're a different type of Dutch person. Because when you travel, like, you can spot them. Like, seriously, you can spot them. Dutch people, they will stop. I don't care what you're doing. They will stop you and have a conversation with you. Tell you where you're going for dinner. Like, Claire from, I think she lives in Rotterdam. She was like, oh, hi, I'm Claire. She had a group of women with her. She said, we're going to the market to eat. I think we're somewhere in Thailand. We're going to the market to eat. I thought they were her friends. It was just a gathering of women that she had picked up in the hostel.
Okay.
So I went with them. I'm like, oh, okay. We're following. Claire is our leader, and we're going to follow
Yep.
Claire. But anytime you meet Dutch people, they are in charge. They are in charge, but in a but friendly,
Yeah.
warmer than a lot of other Europeans. That's been my
And they stand out because they're very tall. They're the tallest. Literally, they're the tallest people in the world. And this woman I was telling you about, who told me when I first got here that, once they hear I'm American, I'll be fine. She also told me, it's like, now that you know what Dutch people look like and sound like, you will see them everywhere, because they go, for it to be a small country, they go, and like you said, you see them everywhere.
everywhere. They must get crazy vacation time, like crazy.
Yeah, like the Europeans, like 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, you really do. They're out there. They believe in traveling. I guess because of the winter, because of the weather.
Yeah.
They believe in traveling. They take it seriously, and they go. Yeah, they go. So you said that one of your favorite things about the Netherlands is how easy it is to leave the Netherlands. How easy is it to get to Paris? What is it like getting to? How big of a deal is it for you to go to Paris? Like, you just went last weekend.
No,
right?
I just went last week. Usually, and I drove, and it took. It's about a 5-hour drive, and going there took me a little longer because there was a detour along the way, and that just took a little longer. But I usually take the train, and that's about 3 hours, and I do prefer that, but not knowing how everything was going to be with the social distancing and everything, and I thought I might shop a little bit for the house, so I was like, let me drive. So it's easy enough. So,
I have a picture up from you at Dinner en Blanc in Paris. I swiped a bunch of pictures from your Instagram. Monique's Instagram is an unstoppable journey. So make sure that you follow her. I'll put a link in the box. So Monique is the Paris expert. If you're in any Facebook group, any Black travel Facebook group, and somebody asks a question about Paris, you're going to get the best answer from Monique, right? Just skip over everybody else's answers. Monique White, she knows the restaurants. She'll tell you hotels. She has got
I've got a list of hotels.
Yes.
And I have one I need to update and add to the list, and because I stayed in an Airbnb, and I never do that, but I have to add that to my list also.
How was the first Airbnb in Paris? Or I guess not the first, but how was it?
It was. I don't do Airbnbs. Really nice view of the Eiffel Tower. I was like, oh yeah, this is nice.
Good.
Yeah.
So when you can get to a handful of countries, in like 3 or 4 hours, how do you decide where you're going to go, and how do you decide where you're going to go? Like, do you just say, I feel like Belgium today, or whatever?
Don't always feel like Belgium. How do you decide? Just because I like France, so that's easy.
Okay.
And sometimes got to mix it up and go different places in France. I have, in the last couple of years, really fallen in love with the couple places I've been in Portugal, and I need to explore that more. And really, it comes down to airfares. Like, oh, somebody's got an airfare, or nice pictures you see of somebody's Instagram at some place, and it's like, oh, let's go there. So,
what's a good airfare for you?
You can go to any major city under €100 easily.
Round trip?
Round trip, yeah.
And this is with a backpack, or is this like carry-on luggage?
I would check luggage because the sizes are smaller. Like for carry-on in the U.S., they would look at that crazy here. It's like that, you have to check that. And so the size of the bags usually, and if I'm taking my camera and some others and my running stuff or whatever, I can't fit it in the size of the carry-on. So I usually if it's longer than 2 days, I'm usually checking.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
And same with the girls.
No, they're better with their carry on. So
Okay.
they're used to
Okay.
it.
All right. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. Questions are scrolling by, and I'm just leaning back. Okay. KB. Okay, so KB wants to know what were some of the challenges in acclimating to the Netherlands. So we touched a little bit on the weather, but how winter does it get?
Um, Very little snow, but it gets really, really cold. It's like I feel like sometimes it's the coldest I've ever been. And I've lived places where it snows,
Okay.
like where it snowed more. But it's like a bone chilling kind of cold because it's like damp. So, and I still haven't gotten used to that. It's like, when is my body going to get used to that? Just my body's like, I'm not. So, um,
Because they're close, like they're far up. Like they touch. Was it Norway? Or I don't know.
no,
What's the
but
neighbor?
we're still pretty far north.
Yeah, yeah. It's.
We're further.
I would call it Arctic. It's not Arctic.
It's
But
not
I would call
Arctic,
it feels Arctic.
and it's not Scandinavian either.
That's what I was thinking. Scandinavia. But it's touching them, right? It touches
Yeah.
Scandinavia. But they still are out riding their bikes in the wintertime.
They ride their bikes all the time, but it's transportation. It's not recreation.
It's not fun.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they get from A to B.
I actually watched something about, I don't know if it was a river that freezes over in the wintertime, and they ice skate to work.
Yeah, it doesn't happen every winter. In fact, it's been several years since it happened. The canals it has to get cold enough that the canals freeze and the ice gets thick enough, and then they do it's called the 11 city race. So basically from north to the south. And about 3 years ago, it got really cold and it started to freeze, but it just didn't get thick enough. And the excitement, they were ready for it, but it didn't get thick enough to be able to handle the weight of all of that. So,
Have they converted you into a bike rider? Do you ride your bike to the grocery store?
I'm a fair weather bike rider.
Okay.
Yeah, and when it's cold and it's wet in winter, that you will not see me on a bike.
Okay. When I was there, the family that I house sat for, they were a family of 4, and they had like 7 bikes.
Yeah. I think they say it's average 1.5 per person. So yeah, that's there you go. That's right.
So that was my first question. I was like, Monique, how many bikes do y'all have? What's y'all's bike count? I guess that's the measure, right? How Dutch are you? So weather was something that took acclimating to. Hair, the hair care system took acclimating to. So basically, like, you find a hairdresser, you stick with that hairdresser until she leaves town, and then you have to search again.
Let me tell you, I guess it's about 3 years ago. I found a really great braider, and a braider in a shop, because you can find braiders sometimes. People are in their house, and it's like, I don't know you like that. I prefer a shop. So I found a really great braider in a shop. And so I go once a day for my appointment. It's like, okay, have a seat, she'll be here. And then finally, after they have me sitting there waiting, it's like, oh, she's not here anymore. I was like, first of all,
that sounds like Delaware.
You should have called me and let me know. And then how you going to have me sit here 30 minutes, 45 minutes before you tell me that? I mean, I was so mad. So those kind of things. But like I said,
it sounds exactly like here, actually. We have women from French-speaking countries in Africa. I assume Sierra Leone and I don't know, French-speaking places. When you ask, they always say the same answer, but I figure they're from different places. But it's the same. You go to the shop, you never know. You make an appointment. Appointment is useless. You don't know who's going to do your hair when you get there. You don't know how many people are going to work on you at the same time. Same experience.
Okay.
Kay,
But
do you,
and then until recently, never anybody in The Hague. I would have to go to maybe Rotterdam or Amsterdam. But a couple years ago, I found somebody in The Hague. So it's been good.
and since your local store has products, you don't have to get stuff. You don't have to have people mail you hair products from the U.S.
Well, no, there's always been beauty supply shops. There's just
Oh,
kind of got to go a little bit, go a
oh,
little ways. But but yeah, like I said, this is in my neighborhood at the like the CVS type store in my neighborhood. I was like, oh,
I'm surprised by that. So
I
you
was
have
too.
regular beauty, but you even the beauty supply stores. You have regular beauty supply stores with black hair
Hmm.
products.
Yes.
That surprises me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Because I know they're black people, but it just
Yeah.
surprised me. Okay. I would think you'd have to get stuff. So this is a more okay. Yeah. Easy. It's easier to ease into. I think sounds like it would be easier to ease into life because that's our concern,
Yeah.
right? That even when I
Yeah.
ask people, what are your questions for Monique? Number one was dating, and number two was hair care.
hair and hair was a big thing, and church. So finding an English speaking church, and yeah, and there are a few English speaking churches, different denominations. So
I
that's
think
been taken care of
I
also.
think what I know about Dutch people is they're kind of non-religious. Is that right? Like
Oh,
they're
girl, yeah, there.
yeah.
I think the stats are 20%
Mm.
of Dutch people go to churches, and then a lot of actual church buildings have been decommissioned and made into different things. There's one that's a nightclub. There's one that's a casino. There's one near me that has trampolines for
Oh,
kids. There's one in the south of Holland that's been made into a beautiful, beautiful bookstore. If you look it up, it's named one of the most beautiful bookstores in the world. So yeah, they're not really big on church, but yeah.
but you did find one that you liked.
But I did find, yeah, I have found the English speaking church. So
But it's
yeah.
mostly Dutch, or is it mostly expats?
Um, mostly expat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like an American Protestant church.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there are a fair number of different nationalities there, including Dutch.
Okay. Kay says, "Do you still have a U.S. passport?"
I do.
Yeah.
I am not. I am a resident. I'm not a citizen. I have not gotten a Dutch passport at all.
Would you have you looked into Dutch citizenship? A second?
No,
No. On
no.
purpose, or just because you don't want to deal with the paperwork?
I don't see. I don't feel the need for it. Although I've been here forever,
Uh-huh.
it's never really in my head that I'm going to be here forever.
Really?
So I
You're
don't.
kidding, Monique.
And I don't have any plans to get up and go anywhere right now. But still, it's like okay.
That's funny. Okay. Okay. So you're just visiting. Is that what's happening?
I'm not
the
necessarily
20,
visiting, but
21, the 21-year visit.
but I've got a visa. I'm good.
But Monique's girls were born in the Netherlands.
They were born here, but they're American citizens also. They are not Dutch.
Oh, I think you did tell me that. So I was going to ask you,
Yes.
does that give them, but they weren't even born there. I mean, they're not. So in the U.S., if you're born here,
U.S. is probably one of the few countries that does that, and
uh,
they do that for taxes
uh-huh.
because they can tax you forever
Give me the money.
as
Uh-huh.
long as you got that little blue passport, right?
Oh, so if your girls did want to, I'm gonna put a picture up of the girls. They're super cute. This is a picture of them from 100 years ago.
Yeah, that's probably at least 10 years old.
Let me
Yeah.
find it. Let me find it. Y'all bear with me. I'm scrolling through. I took a million pictures off of Monique's Instagram. I was like, let me go get 4 or 5 pictures, but her pictures are so amazing that I couldn't stop copying and pasting pictures. So these are Monique's daughters who were born in the Netherlands, but are U.S. citizens. Oh,
Yes.
this is so cute. Your baby's got the medal on. You can't see the pictures, but your baby's you're holding the medal. Your oldest daughter is wearing her medal. Your baby is wearing the medal on her face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cute. Miss
And
P and Miss V.
then my oldest daughter is a rising sophomore, and She goes to university in the U.S., and I'm not at liberty to say which one. That's her preference. And then my youngest daughter is 16. She'll be a equivalent of a high school junior.
Okay. So you took a nice little road trip here in the U.S. to take your girls to schools, to show them what schools were like. And I
Yes,
kind
I
of
did.
thought that your oldest would, I follow Monique on Instagram and I've linked to her Insta in the chat. I kind of thought that would convince your oldest to stay in the Netherlands to go to school because I'm like, she's
No.
not going to like it. But she did. She came to the U.S. Now, Corona interrupted her freshman year of college.
Yes.
But
Yeah. She came home at spring break and has been here since spring break. But yeah, looks like the plan now is that they will go back in the fall, and they're doing whatever they need to do to prepare for that. Yeah.
Okay. How was it for you when your baby is talking about living in another country to go to school?
She's been saying it forever. So in a lot of ways, I was okay because it's not an unusual thing for Americans to go away to college, and she would be living in a dorm and everything. But I saw her a lot. I went she had a break in October, and I went and saw her. I went and saw her for her Thanksgiving break, and then a couple of weeks after that, she was home for Christmas. And then a couple of weeks after that, she was home. They had this weird break in the middle of January, and she came right back home. And then she was home for Corona. So I didn't have time to miss her. I almost didn't have time to miss her.
Yeah,
but
that's good. That's good.
But and I think it's been a really good transition. So when she goes back in the fall, it'll be much easier.
And I asked you this before, but I don't remember what you said. When they speak English, they sound just American, right? Or do they have like a little? Dutch people don't really have much of an accent anyway. When they speak English, they pretty much sound American.
It depends on how they learn English. Their English, a lot of the reason that their English is so good is because they don't dub their TD. They do subtitles instead. So they hear. So that's a lot of the reason why you'll get very little accent when you listen to them. But no, my girls don't. They have what
like their parents.
What is apparently called an international accent. So a lot of the kids that go to the international schools, even like British kids or whatever, sound like that. It's like and to most people, it would sound basically American.
Okay. Yeah, I thought for sure. You said we're on this road trip, and I followed you guys on Instagram. I thought for sure she's gonna be like, forget this. These people are dummies. That's what I thought was gonna happen. She's gonna be like, oh my gosh, these kids are dummies. I'm not coming over here. But I guess she's had experience with American kids in her international school. Because there's a difference. Their school, your school in the Netherlands is different. Those kids are coming out of it at a different level than the average American student. They're not coming out with the same amount of education.
It's a little different. And there was a little bit of, even though we go back every summer and we stay, weeks at a time or whatever, there was a little bit of culture shock. But, I told her, I was like, this isn't, going to see your grandparents and getting spoiled and playing. This is like, so there were some things she had to get used to. But.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe it. Yeah. When I hear about Europeans and Asians coming to the U.S. for school, I'm like, oh, they're going to know. We don't learn anything in school. They're going to know our secret shame. Our schools are terrible. I always think that. Yeah, I thought for sure she would be like, forget it. I'll go somewhere else. All right, hi guys. Lee is shocked at the $100 Euro round trip flight to Paris. Yeah, so you can get all around Europe, around Europe. And I saw like Morocco. I searched flight prices like it's my job. Sure. I've seen Morocco flight prices at a crazy low, price.
I mean, we have the equivalent of the Spirit and the cheap U.S. airline. So Yeah, it works.
Uh-huh.
And I could probably do cheaper if I were willing to fly Ryanair, but I'm not.
These are
I,
prices without going Ryanair.
yeah, I've done Ryanair once. And I was like, yeah, I can afford a little bit more than that.
So their Spirit. And then
Yeah,
who
I'm about to say. So that might be our spirit,
so
right?
who would be like the Frontier? I assume Frontier, I think a Frontier is just like, it's above Spirit, good prices, but you're going to actually get to where you're going.
Maybe EasyJet
Okay.
and
Okay.
Transavia, maybe.
Okay. Do you have a favorite? Like, are you loyal to an airline?
Um, when I go like big trips, KLM, because that's the mothership for the Netherlands. That's the country airline. Um, and then like for the low cost, probably EasyJet more often, just because they tend to have a larger itinerary.
Okay.
They go a few more places.
Uh-huh. Okay. Good to know. Saren says, will you be moving to Paris or France eventually?
Ooh, wouldn't I love to do that? Girl, who knows? But I'm not opposed to it.
So you talk a lot about Paris, but is it France as a whole or really legit just Paris that is your
Mostly
boo?
Paris,
Okay.
and in the south, Nice. I like
Okay.
Nice quite a bit.
Okay. How about Bordeaux?
Bordeaux's nice. I haven't spent a lot of time there, but
Okay.
I've been a couple times. It's nice.
I just have seen pictures. I need to get there. It's like if I had like a list, it would be at the top of the list.
Bordeaux.
Uh-huh. From
Oh,
the pictures
yeah,
it looks like I would really enjoy it.
go and drink some wine. Do that.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I need to get over there. What's travel like for you? I have a nice picture of you from Colmar. Let me put that on the screen. Colmar is the town
Oh,
in
yeah, that's very
France
good.
with the
With the Christmas market and the pretty half timber houses on the
uh-huh,
canal.
uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a nice place too. And they've got wine. It's right on the border with Germany.
Oh,
it's got a different vibe than the other parts of France. So than the western part that I'm more familiar with. But
it's
it's still
more
nice.
German. Is that what you
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we haven't talked about that. Monique is also the Christmas market queen.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So this is so y'all know that I boycott winter, but I would like to get I would like to get out to Europe for some Christmas markets one holiday
Something to say.
season.
Suck it up for a week, get a coat, and let's do
Oh, you done said the C word. I'm already like, never mind.
it.
I have to wear a coat. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I don't know. I've already changed my mind about it. Yeah. All right. Lee, the average bike. Yeah, they average bikes like we average kids. Yeah. 2.2 per person. Tanaj and Tino, they just started following you on Instagram. Tanaj and Tino are parents who house sit. I call them house
I
sitting
was gonna
parents
say
as in
they're
they're not
from
my
New Orleans.
parents.
They're from New
They're
Orleans,
from New
and
Orleans.
okay, yeah, I
Yes.
know the name.
Yes, they want to know if you have a YouTube channel.
I don't.
Any plans?
I don't.
Maybe later.
I'm kind of camera shy, and I can't even see myself trying to learn how to. Oh, the editing that scares me. No, I don't.
It's terrible. That's why we just go live. Don't edit anything. Go live. Even if you have to start 10 minutes late, it's okay.
It's live. Things happen.
Things happen. We're all friends here. That's what we're friends. We're friends. Nobody's no judgment, no judgment zone. Yeah. So Monique has a second Instagram. So thank you guys for following her on her main Insta. Are you still I guess I
Thank
should have
you.
asked you this ahead of time, but are you still so a Run Stoppable Journey is also active, or is it a old channel?
It's active.
Okay.
Yeah, as
So
active as it can be right now. Yes, it's active.
Monique is a runner, and I mean a runner. So I'm going to link to her second Instagram channel, which is about her running the world. Monique has a Monique set a goal to run 50 races, and by races, she's not talking about 5Ks. Monique has set a goal to run 50 races in 50 countries. The original goal was before your 50th birthday, is that right?
Was for around my 50th birthday. So, and with Corona, it's kind of obviously been changed a little bit. So it's still, around my 50th birthday.
And your 50th birthday is soon.
Weeks.
Yes. What number are you on?
Right before the big shutdown in March, I ran Chile, which was country 44.
Wow. 44, and these are marathons and half marathons. Am I about that?
Yeah.
44. Oh, wait. I'm trying to put up, okay, this is a picture of the Netherlands. I'm trying to put up a race picture. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. I'm gonna show you. We have proof. We have proof. Yeah, 44 marathons.
Show the pyramids picture, because that should be pretty close up somewhere.
Boom. Open.
Because I did that one in February.
The Great Pyramids at Giza. And this was a full marathon?
No, half. I haven't run a full marathon in a couple years.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, what is it like? Well, what was the weather when you were in Egypt? What's that like?
It was actually really nice. It was early enough in the day that it was kind of cool and balmy. It started at like 8 in the morning, but the sun did kind of come up at a couple of times and peek out of the clouds. It was like, oh, it's hot, but it was not uncomfortable. It wasn't, painful. It was doable.
Okay. Yeah. All I can think of is no. but I don't, you have a goal. So that's what it's like when you have a goal, right? You deal with things like you said to me, suck it up. You suck it up. Yeah, so follow Monique's running Instagram for running stuff. A Run Stoppable journey. I put up a couple pictures so we can see what's what. Yeah, so when you decided to set this goal, or how did the goal come about? What happened?
Well, initially the goal was to run different places in the Netherlands and just kind of see the Netherlands. But as pretty as the Netherlands is, a lot of it kind of is the same. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I've seen a lot of what I want to see here. And I, like I said, I traveled quite a bit. And 1 year I ran the first destination race I did was Paris to Versailles. And I was like, oh, maybe I should do this. And so I started running races in different places. And I guess about 5 years ago, kind of after my divorce was final and everything, and I was just looking for something to do, a goal or some motivation. Yeah. And I was looking at the races and I was like, I've run in quite a few places, and looking for a goal for 50. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people in the US do 50 states. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. And I was like, maybe I could do 50 countries. And at that point I had 20 something. I was like, you know what? I could do that. And so I just kind of made a variation of the 50 states, made it 50 countries, and started doing it.
That's amazing. I love that. I can't so when I was in the Army 100 years ago, and so I've been a runner and I miss it, but even still, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine 50 of these long races in 50 countries. So when you land, so a lot of these times you're getting to the country just like the day before the race. This isn't like you get to be there for 2 weeks and,
Not most places. A good example is Australia, Brisbane. I went to Brisbane a few years ago. I went to Australia. That was like a big trip in the summer, and I was going to be there for a couple weeks. And I was like, okay, while I'm there, I'm going to get this country. Uh-huh. So I looked and found a race. And Brisbane wasn't on my agenda, was
Yeah.
not on my, wasn't on my radar until I saw the race.
Okay.
And I did all kind of twists and turns and paid all kind of crazy money to go to Brisbane for 24 hours, literally. I got there in time to go pick up my race number, ran and showered and left, which is really unfortunate because the little bit I saw of the city, it's really nice. It's like, you should have at least stayed another day to kind of see it. But yeah.
So you were in where were you hanging out? Sydney.
I went to Sydney, Melbourne, and the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, Brisbane is not close, so
Brisbane was kind of like,
it's up there.
Okay.
Yeah. So what does that do to your body? How do you feel when you land someplace and you're running a race in the morning? Like you land in the evening and you're running in the morning.
Well, I had been in Australia probably about a week by that time, so I was acclimated enough. But most races are close enough that I don't have to do that. One race, right. Mexico City, a few years ago, it was like the next day. Oh, and Chile was the next day. And it's like you try to get there and go to sleep as early as you can, do it, suck it up, and go home, go back to the hotel, eat, shower, go to sleep.
Yeah, it's a different kind of tired.
Yeah, it's a different kind of tired.
Exhausted.
And in fact, it kind of helps you get over the jet lag a little faster.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Because like you said, it's a different kind of tired. So after the race, you're gonna be exhausted. You're gonna sleep, and it's like you kind of sleep it all off.
Okay. So now y'all know if you're battling jet lag, go out and run 13 miles. You'll be all better. Right now with Corona, you guys are allowed to. Right now with Corona, I heard the door. I thought we were going to see a face. Right now, you guys are much more advanced in the Corona recovery system than we are. So you guys are allowed to go from country to country. You just told us that you went to Paris last week. So
yeah.
So do you have but that probably doesn't mean races are back on, or does it?
No, actually today I was just looking at Paris Marathon. I'm on the page, although I'm not scheduled to run it. But a lot of people are worried, are waiting to hear whether it's canceled or not, because that race is still officially on the books for October. But a lot of big races here, like Berlin, which is a major marathon, which is supposed to take place in September, has been canceled, and lots of other races have. Okay. So they're waiting to hear. But it looks like since the country has just opened up again and everything, they're probably waiting to see what happens in terms of numbers spiking or staying flat before they decide to cancel or not.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep following Monique Runs 50. I love that goal. I love it. I wish mine would be like 55Ks maybe. I think I could get to 55Ks in, or maybe like 55Ks in 20 countries or something. I don't know that I could hit 50 countries, but yeah, I love that goal. Now, what about? So I think of you. I think of you as private. So how was it for you to share your goal with the world and continue sharing your goal with the world?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I'm probably least private about. So yeah, it's okay. It's good.
Why do you
I don't mind sharing it.
Why do you think that is? Because of the community of runners? Is that what it is?
Because it's something that I've always kind of done with my blog. For as long as I've had the blog, I have been running and doing different things. It's like, okay, hey, this is what's going on.
When I talk to Black women who talk to me about their goal or their dream or whatever, but they don't want anybody to know, right? It's a secret. I don't want anybody to know. It's really scary to tell people this is my goal, my dream. It's scary, and I don't know. It's just hard. But when you tell people, what's the response? It's always That's amazing, right?
Yeah, they want to cheer you on, and they're like, okay, good. Where are you? How are you doing it? Like now everyone's asking what the deal is with the coronavirus, and I was like, I'm still pretty optimistic because literally 100 days ago, I was running a race in Chile. And I was like, and I just feel like as fast as it turned
Yes,
that way, it can turn back.
that's right.
So I'm trying to. That's where I'm trying to be right now.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. If it went bad quick, it can go good
Yeah,
quick.
and like I said, and make the slight adjustment. It won't happen by August,
Mhm.
but I still have another few months before. Well, do it in the time that I'm 50. So.
So it's too hard. It would take forever for you to name the 44 countries you've already run in. But can you tell us what were the six that were left? Do you know them off
Um,
by heart?
Argentina, Poland, Switzerland. I was hoping to go to Peru, Lithuania,
Okay.
and Bulgaria.
Okay. So that's a great mix of very far and very
Yeah,
near.
yeah,
That's great. I'm surprised you haven't done
yeah.
one in Poland yet. Or
Yeah, it just hasn't. The timing just hasn't worked out.
niece, who is Soprano Musings Abroad, she's a teacher, I don't know. She's an English teacher, and she'll be teaching in Poland very soon. And like, I really just want to go and crash her trip because I think that Poland is a place that I would love.
Okay.
Just because I've seen pictures and the food. Who doesn't love Polish food? So I
Yeah,
want to eat
I've been.
pierogies.
Yeah, I've been a couple times, but just haven't. I just haven't done a race there yet. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know you've
Mm.
been. I know. I know.
Uh,
If anybody's been to Poland, Monique's been to Poland. Do you have a place that I think I know the answer to this? Do you have a place that you're like, no more? I've tried this country or I've tried this city, and I'm not going back there.
okay, I've been, but I'm not discounting it. Seoul. I went to
Oh.
Korea, and I wasn't impressed, and I know why I wasn't impressed. I went about a month or so after I'd been in China,
Okay.
and to me, it was too it was too much the same. I was like, I just saw that. I
Okay.
mean, it was just so, yeah, and I think going back with a different mindset, with a better itinerary, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Okay. So those of us who don't want to go to China, but maybe would like a a similar look, just go to Seoul.
Maybe, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say, was it Croatia? Didn't you have some negative?
Oh, no,
Was it
no, no, no.
Croatia?
I like Croatia. I like Croatia.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I must have you mixed up, or maybe the country mixed up. I don't know.
t-
Okay.
tell
Okay.
tell me the story, and maybe
You
we'll
just
see
said
what's
this
good.
the second time I've been here. You went before either when the kids were little or something, and then you went back recently, and you were like, I tried it again, and they're still racist.
No, no. Okay, no.
I
That's
don't know.
opposite thought.
Oh,
When first time I went to Riga,
ah,
it would had a crazy incident with some racism and everything. Went back, have been back twice since then, and a total different story.
oh, Riga, Latvia.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. You think it's because they've had more exposure to black people?
yeah, possibly.
All right, Saren, we have more questions about getting to Paris from the Netherlands. Okay, let's see. Saren says, you mentioned taking the train from the Netherlands to Paris. Oh, what is the quality of train service? I've heard
um,
quality has gone down significantly over the years.
no, I take the high speed train, the Thalys, and it's really nice. Nothing but good things to say about it.
Trains in Europe make you think like, come on, USA, what are we doing? What are
Yeah,
we even
it's
trying?
no, the USA is not even trying.
It's ridiculous, ridiculous.
Yeah, how
What?
the networks, how easy it is to get from place to place. train stations right in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in when I house sat in San Francisco and I needed to get to LA. Like, there's no legit way to get there in a reasonable amount of time. I rented a car, which is so not like me. I rented a car to get from San Francisco to LA. Come on, like, can we get a train? They had an overnight bus, like sleeper bus, but they had just stopped service for some reason. There's like an overnight sleeper bus service, which I would totally do.
But that's a good drive.
It was, I don't
San
know,
Francisco to LA. Did you drive
8 hours or something?
the Highway 1? Did you the
The
PCH?
main highway, yeah. Yeah, but I did it at night, so it wasn't like I had a beautiful view or anything.
Oh.
It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't enjoyable. If I had been on a train, I would have been looking out the window and drinking coffee and taking pictures and everything. But no, I'm just on a highway, just on a regular highway. And I wasn't on the coast. It wasn't even pretty. It was just, I'm like, come on. Everybody else's trains are so great. Why is ours so terrible? Okay. Oh, no, wait. I skipped one. Hi, Eve. I don't think I've said hi to you. Eve says, thank you for this information. You know what? I'm doing the pictures and I'm forgetting to put the comments on the screen. Y'all forgive me.
Yeah.
Eve says, thank you for this information. I've been to the Netherlands and they treated me like a queen as a Black woman from America. I regret not Tindering in the Netherlands. I was there just at a time when mentally I was not in the mood to deal with men. But I regret not Tindering there because, as Monique said, they're tall. They're tall.
Yeah, they're tall.
So that's a bonus. Do you want to talk about dating? You can say no. Okay.
I don't have anything to say about it.
Okay. I think, but Eve, I can see that being the case because, like I said, when you meet Dutch people when you're traveling, they are in charge, which is a problem that I have with some men. They just don't want to take charge. Like, they don't want to be. Anyway, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, they don't want to make plans. They don't want to be in charge. They want you to do all of the work. And I feel like Dutch men, you wouldn't have that problem with them. That's just from me guessing. Because they're tall. And because the women are so bossy, I assume the men are also bossy. However, Australian women are bossy and Australian men are like...
I was about to say, they can't both be bossy, can they?
You would think that it would be like a cultural thing and not a gender thing, right?
Okay.
You would I don't know. We're going to have to find out. Eve, give us more information. But that's what I would think, that like as a culture, they get things done. Like I was in the Netherlands for a week or maybe a little bit longer. The big, like how your neighborhood or your apartment complex has a huge trash dumpster. Theirs are underground. It's just a regular trash. It looks like a regular trash can on the top, but it's underground. These people are advanced.
But there's no room on top of the ground now. You got to do.
These people are advanced. I watched them come and take the family told me, you use your little key card, you do this, it opens up, you put your the trash in there, and it's in this huge underground dumpster. Like, I feel like people from this dating people from this country, you're going to get stuff done. We're not going to sit back and wish we had a better train system. We are going to implement an amazing train system.
Okay.
That's what I think. So I think Dutch men would be implementers. I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to go back. I don't care what Monique said. I'm going back. I'm going to do some research for y'all.
I was to say, you almost have me interested in doing some research. Almost.
I'm serious. Like, things are together. This place is organized. These men are going to get stuff done. We'll see. KB, I've been to Paris once. I remember great cafes, long dinners, lots of wine. It was beautiful but expensive. Well, you know how it is, Kay, when you're a tourist, a vacationer, you spend that dough.
Yeah. And they are out and about. I've got some stuff on my stories, but the Parisians, the cafes are open. They are enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it's busy, but it's not crowded because a lot of the tourists aren't there.
Right.
So like you go to the parks and Eiffel Tower and everything, and it's lively, but it's not overrun. And I was like, oh, they have got to be loving it.
Yeah, I know it was hard for
It's
them.
just perfect. You know what I
Um,
mean?
I know it was hard for them being locked down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get food delivered to a lot of places when I go, when I'm traveling around. I have
Mhm.
no problem being on lockdown. You would never have known that anything was different for me. But I know that there are people who are like, oh, I can't wait to get back out.
Mhm.
Hi, my friend Katrina's here. Hey, Katrina. Katrina, I'm put this on the screen. Katrina says I was an awesome runner back in the day. Thanks, girl.
Oh.
Katrina and I were in the army together, and yeah, we were in the army together. And I really liked running, and I really do miss it. But I just need.
So,
I bought some running
well,
shoes recently.
I was going to say, but you've already told me that when this goal is done and I do my racecations, you're coming. So, hey,
Yep, I did. I did.
we'll find you one that's got, like
Flat.
10K or less and
Flat,
flat.
please.
We can do that.
Yes. Monique, so Monique will be resuming racecations, which are where women come together, hang out for like the weekend, and run a race
Yeah, do a
together.
long weekend. Yeah. We pick a destination and a destination race and yeah, plan around that.
I am all in, even if I have to walk the race. I'm in.
Hey, and that's a possibility too. So there you go.
I love this idea. I love this idea. So again, don't get on Monique's or follow Monique so that you can stay up to date on what's happening. I'm going to link to her Instagram again. Yeah, so that you can stay up to date, because when racecations happens and I'm in Poland eating pierogies with Monique, don't be upset. You could have been there.
You could have been there too. Yeah, you've been warned.
Don't be upset. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say your name because I can't say it. Hello, ladies. Glad to have joined the live. Looking for advice. Would you leave a safe job for a gap year traveling in the context we're in? It depends on if you need time. Like, if you need time for whatever reason, if you need time to reset and recharge, if you mentally need space or time, then staying at the job is not going to give you that. Like, it depends on what you need, right? For me, I needed to see the world while I could still see the world, right? I didn't want to wait until I was 67 and, had hip problems to do the stuff that I wanted to do. So it only you know what's more important to you. Only you know. If your job is, only you know. I've never had a job that I felt like, oh, if I lose this job, I'm going to lose it. Mostly I've had jobs where, like, if they give me $5,000, I would quit. When they start talking about, a lot of jobs I've been on, like when I worked for a bank, they started talking about, we're going to start some layoffs. And people were like, wow, how much would you take how much would you take for them to put you on the list? And people were like, I'd take a year's salary. I'm like, I'll quit for $5,000. I'll be gone. I'll volunteer as tribute, So I don't know what that's like. I can't speak to that. What I can say is what you need what you need. What you need isn't going to change because your job is so good. If you need some peace, if you need some quiet time for reflection, if you need to put yourself on a new path, that's not going to change just because your job is good. If your job is not good, because you didn't say your job was good, you just said it was safe. I read that as good. But if your job is safe, but you don't like it, if your job
stressing you out,
safe, but it's killing you, it's not good. So, yeah, so that's relative. That's all I had to say about that. You have anything new to say, Monique?
No, I can't speak to that at all because, I haven't had that experience.
No. So I guess it depends on what you mean by good. Is this something like if you do leave this job and then you can't come back to it, your life will be the worse for it because you love it so much? Then I don't know. Maybe you'll have to figure something else out. I had somebody the other day. She said she was a nurse. I don't know. I can't remember who it was. She's a nurse, and she said she told someone, her nurse supervisor, that she was thinking about taking a year off. And the supervisor was like, "You can just be a travel nurse." And I'm like, you could, but what was the purpose of taking the year off? If you want a year off to rest, if you want a year off to do what you want to do, I mean, you're still talking about keeping a job. So I can't speak from being a person who has ever had a job where I was like, oh, this is my calling, this is my thing. I can't speak to that, so maybe that's the difference. But quit that job. Quit that job. And come back. They'll hire you back. Katrina, my runner friend, Katrina wants to know about your running shoes. She's an ON shoe girl. What's ON shoes, Katrina? ON. I know. ON.
I'm an A6 girl.
Okay. I was going to say that. Okay. Because I think
I do. I wear A6.
I ran in Adidas, but they don't make the ones I used to run in anymore. I used to run in the Cushion Response. Okay. And they don't make them anymore. So I bought another pair of Adidas the other day. They're right here. I still have them. They're here. One day I'll put them on and do something.
And do a run.
Do something. Yeah. Running. So we talked about setting the big goal. Running is a good way to, like, with running, you start being terrible at it. And you get better and you can see your progress. Like, it's easy to see your progress with running. And then even when you're much better at it, if you go to a race and you compare yourself to other people, you're still pretty terrible at it. You know, like, what's his name? Meb Keflezighi? No, I don't know. The fastest man, you know, you're still slow.
Yeah,
but
compared to that,
you're still slow. But good Lord, you see your progress, and it's a way to look at the other aspects of your life and be like, oh, it's okay if I start this new thing, even though I'm terrible at it. I stink at this new thing, right? Like YouTube, Monique.
You're your only competition.
Yeah, yes, that's what running teaches you, and all you have to do is compare yourself to your previous. You know, you don't have to compare yourself to the world's fastest man and the fastest woman.
And Oprah.
You just, as long as you are making progress, you keep picking them up and putting them down. What they always told us in the Army, just keep picking them up and putting them down. You will get somewhere. That's one of the things I miss about running, is being able to see progress, just tangible. This right there, I can see, like, 3 months ago, it took me 30 minutes to cover a mile, and I just ran a mile in 12 minutes. You know, like, you can see it. I miss it because I miss it partly for that reason. So You said your running shoes are right there. They're right there.
You know, there you go.
I know. I know. It's on my to-do list. Yeah, I'm gonna pick it back up. I'm gonna pick it back up. I miss it. But yeah, that's so we have goals. Everybody's got a goal. Everybody's got, you know, their thing that they're working on. And it's okay when you start out if you are terrible. I don't care what that thing is. You can be the worst. The first run, I remember talking to some women when I worked in a pharmacy, and she was like, we were all talking about it, and she's like, I put on some shoes and I went out and I tried to run around the track, and my calves got so tight. And I was like, yeah, I remember that, you know, the first few times when you haven't run in a long time, you try to run, it's like awful. And she was like, oh, you know, like, she had no clue that if you just keep going for a few weeks, it doesn't happen anymore. She thought it meant that she was not designed to be a runner.
Okay.
Right? Like, she didn't know that there are these stumbling blocks that you have to overcome.
And it might have been the shoes. Different shoes might have made a difference. Uh-huh. There are lots of factors into things like that. So.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but it makes me sad when people think, you know, oh, I can't do it because I'm not good at it. Like, you're new. It's okay. It's okay. All right, that's all. Okay, that's the end of my sermon. Okay, so Condorcet to 2011. Okay, so she says her work is stressful. Oh, I do need a mental health break, but I'm concerned about the world that we're living in. Whether the world gets better or worse, you're still going to need a mental health break. I mean, you're not going to get from me advice that says put it off for 10 years. I'm not the one who's going to give you that advice. There are probably some people out here. Maybe somebody in the chat will tell you to give it 10 years. If so, then let her know. But as far as I know, there's nothing that's going to change that. If you need a break, nothing is going to change that except for taking a break. I mean, I don't know any other way for you if you need a mental health break. Right? Like, I don't know. Your therapist,
take a break.
Your therapist will probably tell you the same thing. Talk to somebody else and see. You know, because maybe I'm, you know, out, like when they say if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Like, when I hear somebody say they need a break, I mean, the only solution I know of is take a break. I don't have any other. I'm not the one who's going to talk you out of it.
Can she take a short break to kind of, you know, see if she can take a couple of months to see, and if after a couple of months she's like, yeah, I'm not going back, and then then permanently decide?
That's right. It doesn't have to be a year. Like I talk about the gap year or whatever. It doesn't have to be a year. But if you need a break, you need a break. I mean, I hope you take it. I'm glad to hear your advice. Most people say the opposite. Yeah. Yeah, and most people are exhausted and sick and not happy. Just not happy. You can be happy. Like, you can live a life where you're happy. But you have to choose it. Right? It doesn't always fall in your lap. It might. I talked to my client the other day. I do virtual assistant work, and I talked to him the other day, and he's a friend of my parents, and he was like, I'm going to see y'all soon. And I was like, maybe. I said, if I run into somebody who has a yacht and they invite me on their yacht, then I won't be in town. You're not going to see me. Sometimes things do fall in your lap. So I'm not going to say happiness never just falls in your lap. But as far as I've experienced, you have to look for it and be intentional about getting it. Okay, I agree with Stephanie. Take a break. Life is too short. Take 6 months. Monique said take 2 or 3 months. Kay says take 6 months. I say take 12 months. Maybe we just need to come up with use the median. Take 6 months and see, and then move into a travel nurse job. Now, Kay, she's not the travel nurse, I don't think. I was talking about somebody else who's a travel nurse. But yeah, on this here channel, we advocate for breaks.
I was about to say, has she talked to you? Has she seen you before? You like not telling her to stay at the job.
On this here channel, we quit our jobs and we do what we want for significant amounts of time. And then maybe we go back and maybe we don't. Katrina says they're called On and they're Swiss, her running shoes. I don't know them.
Yeah, I don't know those either.
Are they cute, Katrina? Tish is voting in. Tish, hi Tish. Tish says 3 to 6 months. So we're triangulating how much time you should take off. Yeah, I hope that's what anybody knows on this channel. If you need a break, there's no other solution. You have to take that break. So every time we start a video, I'm like, I'm not gonna start preaching about this, but we get told as Black women that our value is in being a hard worker. We're told that is what we're here for. That is our value. And if you're not a hard worker, if you're not exhausted and burnout, if you're not collapsing at the end of the work week, then you don't have value as a person. And that's not the truth. That's the lie. That's the lie. You have value. I'm a house sitter. I work as little as possible. I have value because I am me, not because I worked myself to the bone. A lot of people get to just be free, but and Black women get told that we have to be the workhorses. You're not a workhorse. You're not a workhorse. I'm not a workhorse. I want to enjoy my life. I want to do the things that are on my list while I'm on this earth. And being exhausted is not going to get me there. It's not going to get you there.
Good answer.
Thank you. Every video I'm like, we're not going to talk about that today. But that's like my life's philosophy. That's why this channel exists.
That's your whole, I was going to say, that's what you do. That's your whole YouTube channel, right? That's you.
It would be so off brand for me not to say that during a video. She says, I love your channel. Discovered house sitting option. Only thing is you're not a pet person. Yeah, house sitting is much, well, if you have longer blocks of time, it's possible to house sit. I'm going live with Travel Noir. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. I'm at Vicarious on Instagram. I'm going live with Travel Noir July 2nd to talk about house sitting. So if you have large blocks of time, like if we're talking 2 months, 6 months, then it's more possible to house sit than if we're talking 2 weeks or 5 days without pets. More possible to house sit without pets. Okay, friends, any other questions for Monique about Amsterdam? No, about the Netherlands, Europe travel in general, running. If you want to talk a little bit more about running. Okay, thank you, Condorcet. Katrina says I appreciate the inspiration this morning. Thank you, Katrina. I appreciate you being here. I'm so glad to see your smiling face.
It's nice talking to everybody.
Yeah. Do you think we covered it, Monique? Do you think there's anything that you wanted to touch on today that we didn't touch on?
I think we covered all the bases.
Okay, so we've decided that the Netherlands has their own issues, right? It's not a place that you're going to go and find that it's magically perfect for you.
I was going to say, what place is that? I would maybe say Paris, but everybody. But if I'm there long enough, I would probably find, issues there too. There's no place that I think realistically you can expect to go and there not be any issues.
But it's beautiful. Spring and summer is amazing, and I guess fall too. Amazingly gorgeous.
Yeah,
place.
Fall can be nice too.
And they can bake. Them Dutch baked goods are for real. They can bake. I ate Dutch apple pie every day while I was in the Netherlands. Yes, they believe in baked goods.
Yes, and their carbs and breads and French fries.
Yes.
Or fries. I guess here they wouldn't be French fries.
Yeah, it would. What do they just call them? French
frites.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah. And another vote for dating there. Okay. Another vote for dating, it's top. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do some research, y'all, and I will report back. I will report back. Okay, friends, thank you so much for joining us. Please, before you go, follow Monique on Instagram, on her regular Instagram page. When you go to her page, you'll also see, when you go to her Instagram profile, you'll also see the running profile.
Yeah, the running, it's in my bio.
It's in the bio. And Unstoppable Journey is her Instagram regular. And then a Runstoppable Journey is Instagram running stuff. All running, all the time. Hi. Okay, Indigenous Mystic. Okay, so we're winding down, Indigenous Mystic. Trucker, thank you so much for joining us. You said you just found my channel. You're interested in moving overseas. Do I have a Facebook page? I do. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vicarious. VAYCARIOUS. I'm going to type it here, but it's not a link. VAY, because I can't type and talk. CARIOUS. Okay, message me on, my DMs are open. So you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Vicarious. Okay, I do send out a newsletter. So if you want me to start sending you my weekly newsletter, just say it. Tell me and send me your email address as well, and I'll do that. Okay, and I have 100,000 videos on YouTube. So Monique was the first of a series. I didn't tell you guys that. So we're going to talk to more Black women around the world. So I'm so excited.
Hey,
yes,
I'm the first.
She was the inaugural series. The reason that I forgot to say it, for one thing, I'm trying to come up with a good title. Like, just Black women around the world is kind of so help me come up with a title. And we'll talk to
We out here. I don't know.
Okay. I'm write that down. So we're talking to Black women this summer and fall. We are talking to Black women who are out here. So you've already asked me, guys, for Costa Rica, Mexico beach areas and Mexico non-beach areas, and Portugal, of course. everybody's bay. So I've got a couple. I've got 2 of the 4 already lined up, and I'm talking to some other women. So subscribe, hang out with us this summer, and we will find out what it's like in different places. Okay.
Good.
All right. Thanks, friends. Thank you so much, Monique. I appreciate you. Thank you for bearing with me.
Yeah, sorry about those first few minutes.
No, it's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm sure if I had bothered to do like a run through first, we would have figured that out beforehand. We did our best.
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay.
It worked.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.